What's up, BookTube? Back with a spoiler rant video for Empire of the Damned. Now, I had promised this one that I was going to actually post this, and I had posted it, but I decided, you know what, I didn't like how it just kind of rambled on, because I am a rambler, and I am a ranter. So on this one, I'm going to try to stay focused and really just rant about the things that I just did not like in this book. Now, just to clarify this is a spoiler review. So if you have not read Empire of the Damned, turn away now. This is your last warning on it. And second, I want to also clarify, I do enjoy this series. I did enjoy half of this book. The first half of it was about a 4-star book. And I feel like Jay Kristoff is second only to George R. R. Martin when it comes to his world building, and I think that should be something I should clarify and say, because I don't want people to think that I hate Jay Kristoff. I do not hate Jay Kristoff. I think he made an amazing series. I only wish that it would stay a little bit more on focus, and that's some of the parts that I'm going to speak about. All right, so here we go. Spoilers from here on out. So where did this book go wrong? It went wrong when you separated the characters, Dior and Gabriel. It's the banter between these two characters that really make this world go. It truly is. You separate these two, and Dior is just kind of bland in a lot of ways, and Gabriel, when he's just meandering around, throwing out insults to random people we don't care about, it doesn't hit quite as hard. It hits hard when it's the back and forth between him and Dior, because you know that they care about each other, and you see them growing as characters. And that's the one thing that I just absolutely love about this series, is their growth that they've shown with each other. You know, whether it be the hardships that they've endured, or whether it be, you know, the victories that they've fought their way through, and the love that just has sprouted from that is absolutely beautiful. Unfortunately, halfway through this book, they decided to break these characters apart. They decided Gabriel was going to go with Phoebe. We were going to have Dior off with the Divox. And Celine is somewheres in between there with her moths. And we get to see Dior's point of view through Celine's moths. And it made the story boring in a lot of ways, because Gabriel with Phoebe, don't get me wrong, I did enjoy kind of the beginning stages of Phoebe and Gabriel's encounters and romance a little bit. But then when I got to thinking about it, I'm like, you know what? They just don't have the same chemistry. And by chemistry, I'm not meaning like sexual chemistry. I'm talking about like chemistry as in they don't have the same banter and back and forth as what him and Dior does. And that, to me, I was missing with it. I felt like Gabriel lost his devil-may-care attitude. I felt like he became distracted. I felt like, to a certain extent, he forgot his family. I mean, let's face it. That's what I signed up for when I, started this series. I started this series and loved this series because Gabriel just was a juggernaut. He did not care who he had to kill and who he had to go through, whether it be friend or foe, to get to the people who killed his wife and daughter. That was his main objective, and throughout the first book, that was his main objective. And I thought it was going to carry over to the second one. Instead, we go through a lot of side quests that really kind of went all over the place, and I felt like his family that had passed away became secondary to his friends, to his lovers, to Dior, to all of these different things. It became secondary, and I really did not like that aspect of it. I think Gabriel is great when he's the lovable monster that hides his heart, not the one who outwardly says the words. And I kid you not, he literally says in this book, "My friends are the hill that I will die on." That is not the same Gabriel from the first book. The Gabriel from the first book would kill his friends if it meant getting to the ones who killed his family. That's all I'm going to say when it comes to that. I thought he got soft, and I also thought he got sidetracked by lesser characters, love, and even, well, basically just love. He got, and that to a certain extent kind of bothers me, because I didn't know what to make of Phoebe and his love affair, because he was so in love with his wife, and then he meets this, Phoebe, learns that she's not just some giant cat, and then is like, you know what? Forget my family. I'm more interested in her. Even forget Dior to a certain extent, because he's like, well, I can't let Phoebe die, so I've got to go to this place, the Highlands, where that I say that I'm going to die. If I go there, they'll kill me because they hate me there. To save Phoebe's life, and I'm going to leave Dior to, her own. That really bothered me. That truly actually bothered me, because I'm like, who do you even care about anymore, Gabriel? Do you care about your family, getting revenge for your family? Do you care about Dior, or do you care about Phoebe? Like it can't be all of these things. It really truly can't be all of these things. So that actually kind of bothered me. That part actually bothered me. Now, the second thing that I thought was a big, big hindrance and took a lot of the book was the 2 point of views. You have Celine's point of view, and then you had Gabriel's point of view. And even Jean, the vampire narrator, basically, or the one who's writing down their story, even said that Celine's story was very generic compared to Gabriel's. And it was. Celine is not a character that is capable of standing on her own. She is not funny enough. She is not strong enough. She is not, she has no interesting qualities besides a slight bit of mystery. And that's it. She's another character that does very well with Gabriel. But even when she was with Gabriel on this one, it felt like children fighting in a lot of ways. It didn't feel realistic. It felt very weak in a lot of different ways. But that was kind of my mindset when it just come to the split POVs. Let's stick with Gabriel. Gabriel's your bread and butter. Let's go with his character. He knows how to, tell the story. He knows how to really make this world engaging in so many different ways. And I thought that was a big letdown. Probably the biggest letdown was the 2 point of views, because really we only got to see Celine's story through her moths. She wasn't even a part of the main story until the very end, past the halfway mark, because she's injured. So it was just a story of her moths, tracking Dior, and while she's with the Divox, and so she played no role in the story for most of it, and I just hated that aspect of it. Truly did. Now, as far as another big disappointment, and I thought this was going to be brutal. Once we found out that Aveline had been attacked by the Divox, and the city was destroyed, they had these meat carriages that they were carrying prisoners to be fed to the Divox clans. I thought that was going to be a really cool aspect of the story. I thought the Divox were going to just be horrific characters. What did they actually end up turning out to be? They actually turned out to be really pathetic in a lot of different ways. Let's just put it this way. The Divox clan that was made of Nikita, and I believe her name was Lilid, is how you pronounce her name. I don't know. They were basically just pervy vampires. They were just basically stupid, pervy vampires. And I say that is because all they wanted to do was roll around in blood and have sex in it. That's it. They wanted to sleep with anything that they came across. They were not scary in any form or fashion, and they were dumb. They were just dumb. I mean, literally, we have this world where that they take over Dune Mergin, I believe was the name of the place. They take over this fortified city, and what ends up happening while they're there? They end up starving because they just randomly just kill all of the population of the humans. They have no one to feed on simply because they want to have blood orgies. So they starved to death. They literally killed their own prey, and nothing came about that. And it just like pissed me off to no end. I'm like, you could have made this really epic, and then instead you gave us pervy vampires that really just needed an HR department kind of vampire. And you gave us that, and ones that was starving to death because they're too stupid to realize you don't kill all your prey. And I'm just like, what a waste. What a waste, Kristoff. Why did you have to go down this route? I get it, you like to be edgy, but sometimes, man, stop being so edgy and start being logical when you're going through this story. That was not logical, and they were not scary, and they were a huge, huge disappointment in this story. Now, another thing that I felt like was a huge disappointment, and a lot of people are probably going to hate me for this because I know a lot of people like Baptiste and Descoste, and I really like Descoste in a lot of different ways. I think he was really fun to watch in the order, and his love for Baptiste is very strong, and them finding this life in Aveline, and fighting for the city against the Divox. Felt like it was a missed opportunity when they didn't get to die protecting those that they cared about. And then that just be one other aspect of Gabriel's hatred for the vampires that pushed him forward. Instead, they decided fake death. We're going to actually continue with them through the story. Now, some of it with Descoste was interesting about how he was tortured. That became interesting, but the being thralls and different things maybe could have been left off. I did not actually enjoy that. And maybe because I didn't enjoy it because I just kind of felt like that is such a strange, stupid vampire lore. Like, we don't need an Igor-like thing. We just need we want something that is unique and different, and that's what this world with vampires usually brings. In that one, it just kind of felt like the thrall thing with vampires, it's already been played out. So I was very disappointed that Baptiste and Descoste did not get the death that they deserved, because I thought that it would added to this story. Now, as far as I had already touched on Phoebe and her love affair with Gabriel, I felt like that story was probably one of the weakest, if not the weakest, because it was fun to see him finding new love, but it got really like it was fun seeing them find that love because both of them had both lost their mates and their family, and that was interesting to a certain extent, but then it just felt like a side quest. Especially once she got injured, and then he's like, you know what? Screw Dior. Screw my family that's died. I got to go to the Highlands where I know that I'm going, or I'm supposed to be killed if I set foot there. And he ends up going through that route, and then we get to the Highlands and the Dust Dancers. And the Dust Dancers were another disappointment. They were supposed to hate Gabriel to the point where even if he set foot on the land, they would kill him. And instead, they were actually quite hospitable. They were so hospitable that when Gabriel learned of the truth of how the Divock vampires had become so powerful and took out Dune Mergin, they become so powerful that they, when they found out this secret, they actually didn't hate Gabriel. They actually followed him and placed him as their leader. Now, that was not what we were told would happen when it came to these Dust Dancers and Gabriel. I wanted more tension, I guess you could say. So that was a disappointment. Now, I'm coming to the last disappointment that was at the very end. Now, Alba and Aline Voss. were two of the boss, I guess they were boss twins, of the head vampires, and they were supposed to be really untouchable. And we see them earlier in outside Cairnheim when they use their thralls, undead thralls, to attack Dior and Gabriel and Celine at a mansion of an old vampire that had passed away, the Asante clan, or whatever they're called. And that was a disappointment. The first one wasn't, because we got to see, okay, there's no way Dior, Celine, and Gabriel can take out these two. They're too strong. They're too powerful. It's going to take a miracle to be able to do that. Well, it seemed like that the first go around. It seemed like they were invincible. And then you get to the end of the book. And then you see the confrontation between just Celine, Gabriel, and Alba and Aline. And what you get with that confrontation, you get an easy win for Gabriel and Celine. And that did not feel very earned. That was so disappointing. So disappointing. It bothered me to my very core. If you would have given me an epic battle at that end when it come to those, I would have adored this story. I would have said, you know what, for all my faults with it, it would have been, you gave me another Danton-like fight scene, would have loved it. Instead, easy death. And my last and final thing that I will actually complain about, now that I think about it, was their mission to Dune Mergin. So once Gabriel gets the Dust Dancers, they're going to attack the Divok clan in Dune Mergin. Well, Alba and Aline are also bringing their group of undead to attack the Divoks. So what does Gabriel's master plan look like? We're going to go in there, try to attack the Divoks, and then we're going to then fight the undead in the castle of the Voss, which made no sense to me. Why not just either do one of two things? Either let the Voss and the Divok fight each other until there's nothing left, and then go and take out the weaker one, or either during the destruction that's going on with that, sneak in the back and take Dior, and then take out the Divoks and the Voss one by one at that stage. That is not what we have, and we went for playing dumb. Is what we went on this one, and that actually really bothered me of this story. That to me was, what are you thinking, Jay Kristoff? What are you thinking, man? That is the dumbest plan I've ever heard of. And of course, we get a fake death ending by Dior at the end, which we knew she was going to be for the third book. But anyways, those are my complaints of Empire of the Damned. Let me know if I'm just missing the mark completely and totally on this. Let me know if you're a fan of this book. Let me know why I should change my mind. So come on, guys, send me comments of change my mind on it. I love talking to people who love the same things I love, whether I agree with them or disagree. But let me know in the comments down below. And as always, guys, thank y'all so much for watching, and y'all take care.